Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Samp&Chance. I'm your host, Bobby Samson, and joined as always, my man with the master plan, Mr. Chance Michaels. Chance, how are you today, buddy?
I'm doing pretty well. How you doing?
Hey, awesome, man. It's the beginning of spring. The days are getting longer, and I started to notice the cherry blossoms are starting to blossom, man. So, a beautiful time of the year, man. Started baseball season, love hearing that slap of the
Yes.
ball into the mitt, so it's all coming together. So hockey playoffs, and then you got free
NBA playoffs.
agency. Yeah, sure. NBA, if that's your bag. I was never a big NBA fan myself, but that's another day for another show. Um, WrestleMania, man, here we are. We're 2 weeks away. It's pretty shaping up pretty nice. Both nights are starting to shape up. Yeah, man. What's your take on it so far?
Well, I guess we got to dive right into the big news, right? Cody Rhodes is supposed to be going to show up at
Yeah,
WrestleMania. So,
Yeah, now we don't know what day that's going to be, unfortunately.
yeah.
If it's going to be night one or night two, but I'm suspecting it's going to be a night two kind of thing, just based on the way the cards are looking right now. If I may, I'm just going to run down night one for us right away, just to kind
Please
of get
do.
an idea of what we have coming for the first night.
Yeah.
Very interesting. Both women title matches are going to be on night one. So you're
Oh,
gonna get,
really?
yeah, so you're gonna have Charlotte versus Ronda. You're gonna also get Becky versus Bianca Belair at that same night. Kevin Owens shows with Stone Cold Steve Austin's gonna be on that night. You got the tag team match of Dominic and Rey Mysterio going up against Logan Paul and The Miz. That's also for night one. And Drew McIntyre versus Happy Corbin as well is slated for that night. Also, Jay and
I like
Jimmy.
that match, by the way.
Yeah, no, 100%. That might be the sleeper match.
Could
Jay and
be.
Jimmy will be defending their tag titles against Rick Boogs and Shinsuke. So that's
It's
basically night one. I have a feeling that we're gonna get the women matches as bookends. I think Bianca and Becky will start off the night with Charlotte and Ronda rounding it up. Pardon the pun.
yeah.
So I think it's going to be that way. I thought initially maybe Stone Cold would be closing, but I don't see that case now. I kind of
Speaking
see
of
that.
that, what do you think is going to happen here? Is this going to be a match, a brawl? This going to shit talk each other? What's going to go on here? What do you think?
I think it's basically going to be a brawl. That's really it. I don't think it's going to be much of a match. It's going to be an interview. I don't even know if Stone Cold will say anything. He might just come down and just start throwing right away. This past Monday on Raw, the show started with Kevin Owens coming out in the skull cap in the 316.
I don't give Kevin
So,
Owens credit for much, but that was great.
oh,
That
he's
was
selling
awesome.
this, man. He's
Yeah,
doing a
he
great
is.
job.
Yep.
Phenomenal job of building this up without having Stone Cold there to build
Mhm.
it with him. I mean, he's doing a fantastic job on this. You know,
He is.
say what you want to say about KO, man, but the guy is doing a great job. And
He is.
I
Absolutely.
will say again, I think he is the best guy to work with Austin. He'll be the safest guy to work with for him. They both have the same style. It's not going to be a technical thing. It's not going to
No.
be, much finesse involved.
In the words
So
of the great Jim Ross, it'd be an old fashioned slobber knocker.
here you go, man. Let them go tooth and nail, as Gorilla
Mhm.
Monsoon used to say.
Yeah.
There we go. Yeah, so that's basically night one there. It's gonna, if we want to take a look at that a little bit more, feel free.
So what matches stand out to you on night one that you're looking forward to the most for Bobby Sampson?
For Bobby Samson, honestly, I'm kind of interested in seeing where this Ronda Rousey Charlotte Flair match is going to be like. I just really have high expectations for it. They've really sold it nicely, the both of them. Very different from the sell that's going on with Bianca and Becky. At first I thought I'd be more excited for that match, but as it's shaping up, I'm really excited to see how these two kind of do. Um, I'm also interested in the Happy Corbin against Drew McIntyre match.
Me too.
Um, what I like about that is the fact that Corbin hasn't been touched by him, and he's done a great job. They've both done a great job of selling the story, telling a great story here, actually. Just avoiding him. So, I think that build up, that old school feel to it where, you can't get your hands on the guy, he keeps avoiding you, and then you finally get him in the ring. So, I'm kind of looking forward to that as well, just to see how it plays out, how much rage and, what kind of storytelling is going to be told there, how the psychology is going to play out on that match. Um, Logan Paul versus The Miz, I don't know. It's kind of an interesting one. That could be good, it could be bad. It all depends on how Logan performs in this one. I'm not too high on it per
I think
se.
it'll be entertaining just because he's a decent boxer for what he is. So he's a fairly good athlete. I mean, I think it should be okay.
Yeah,
I think
Bad Bunny set the bar high though, man.
he did. I'm not saying Logan Paul's gonna do that kind of flipping, but he can do other kind of things. You know what I mean?
Well, let's see what he does. Like I said, you can't say
He's a
nothing
good
until it
entertainer.
actually
That's what
happens.
wrestling is, right?
Yeah, no, for sure. He's there. We're not.
Yeah.
Bottom line. So, but we will be there one day.
Hopefully we will. Yeah.
Yeah, no, 100%. So that's basically night one. How about you? What stands out for you?
Corbin match. I'm a big fan of Corbin. That's going to be great. Two big tough dudes going at it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really excited. I'm glad Corbin got a match. I wasn't sure if he'd even be on WrestleMania, so I'm glad he got a match.
Well, with 2 nights, I think everyone could be able to get on this card.
Yeah, and then Ronda and Charlotte's going to be a good match.
Yeah, no, for sure.
You know what?
Sure.
I don't mind. I don't mind Logan Paul and Miz. It's a good, entertaining match. It is what it is. It's not going to be a show stealer, but I think Logan Paul might surprise you. We'll find out.
Well, let's see what happens, man. Like I said, I mean, it's a lot
And of course,
celebrities.
Stone Cold and Owens. Obviously, I'm excited to see Stone Cold back. Of course.
Yeah, no, for sure. Like, I mean, no one said it's a match. No one said it's just a straight interview. Obviously something's going to happen. It's going to end with Owens getting the stunner and beer poured over him. I mean, if it ends any differently.
Do you think Austin will show up on Raw before Mania or anything, or it's going to show up at Mania?
It's hard to say, I think at this point he's best served. I think the segment will be best served with him just showing up at Mania.
Yeah.
I don't think you need to sell it by having him come on to Raw.
Yeah.
Right away. I just think it's one of those things that you just keep for Mania. I think you already gave enough away. Personally, I would have loved it just to have Owens be in the same kind of predicament that Seth is in right now and not have anything going on and force himself onto the show with the Kevin Owens show and, putting down Texas, putting down everybody, maybe have a couple guys come out, like a Shawn Michaels or something, have him, have his way with one of those guys or something. And then all of a sudden, glass crashes and out comes Stone Cold. I would have liked to have seen it that way, but I get it. You're trying to sell tickets. You're trying to get the event going. Yeah. You have to give a little bit of it away. I think that's all you need to give away. That's just my opinion. I don't think he needs to be on Raw on Monday.
Yep. No, it's good to have something to anticipate, to wait for. So they give away so much, like you said. It's nice. You have to go order WrestleMania, watch it on the network, and you're going to see Owens, you're going to see Cody Rhodes, right?
Yeah. Yeah, but we'll get to that in part 2, right? So, yeah. But before that, man, NXT is running a show right before that. Actually, before Mania starts, I guess another takeover show or whatever they call them, and it's an interesting card. I thought maybe we could just run over it really quick and see if anything there stands out. Dolph Ziggler versus Braun Breaker for the NXT Championship. Braun Breaker is Rick Steiner's son. Yeah, Mandy Rose is going to be fighting against Cora Jade versus Io Shirai versus Kaylee Ray. That looks like actually a really good match. I'm actually looking forward to that one. I am a big Io Shirai fan. I love her. I think she's just absolutely amazing. She can fly. She's a great worker. Kaylee's amazing as well. I don't know if you've seen too much of her. Most of her work, a lot of her work has been done in the NXT UK brand. She was the women's champion there before she came over to NXT USA, I guess.
Yeah.
North American Championship ladder match. You got Carmelo Hayes, who's the champion, against Santos Escobar versus Grayson Walker. Solo Sekai, who is the younger brother of the Usos.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and A-Kid, Roderick Strong, and Cameron Grimes. So you got that's a pretty interesting match here as well. Like the way I'm looking at this one, this looks better than night one.
Well,
Mania.
I'm gonna ask you something. What do you think of the new NXT look? instead of the black and gold. I like it. A little more
Um,
fun, more bright. I don't mind it at all.
I have nothing with the branding. I think it's fine. It pops. It's supposed to pop.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the evolution of the brand. I actually like what they're doing with the brand now in a lot of
Mhm.
ways. It's actually what it was supposed to be, in my opinion. I loved it as it was before as well. I thought they were having amazing matches and whatnot. But you know what? In light of AEW and all the other promotions kind of stepping up and all working together, I can understand why Vince made the change to the format of NXT to create it as a actual, developmental
I like it. What do you
opposed
think
to.
about what do you think about Dolph getting the belt? You think it's a slap in the face at emotion or get some more notoriety? How do you see it?
I personally thought it was a step backwards considering what the brand was trying to do. You know, Dolph's been around for a long time, so I really don't see why they would have to put the strap on him. If anything, it makes him look weak.
I guess maybe Dolph's looking at it this way. I don't know. I'm just guessing here that maybe he's thinking, well, if I take this title opportunity, I get a chance to wrestle. I'll get more matches. But he's kind of getting lost in the shuffle there with Bobby Roode. You know what I mean? He wasn't always on SmackDown there. He wasn't always on Raw. You'd see him, you wouldn't see him. This way now, he's guaranteed a match at least once a week on TV, being the NXT champ, right?
Well, no, 100%. But dude's been around for, God, almost, he's going on to close to 18 years now,
Mm-hmm.
almost, I would think. I mean, starting off with the Spirit Squad and all that kind of stuff. And, outside of maybe one or two runs, in my opinion, in my thinking, anyways, I don't think the guy has ever been higher than a mid card performer, anyways.
I don't think
Like,
so.
like he's been consistent. He's been in some major storylines. When he won the championship, when he was with John Cena against the Authority and whatnot, those
Yeah.
were kind of his biggest moments, in my opinion. But other than that, really, he's just been more of a mid to lower top tier wrestler, performer for the
In
company.
my personal opinion, I think that's exactly where he belongs. Don't get me wrong. I love his look. I love his in-ring ability, but the bottom, he's got a little bit of charisma, but the guy can't talk. And he's just never been super over. And so I think he is where he should be. Maybe not NXT champ, but mid card is what Dolph is. And I hate to
No,
be hard.
100%. Yeah, no, you're not. No, not at all, man.
Not
I
everybody
just,
can be the top, be a main event, right? And hey,
yeah,
18 years in the Fed is an amazing accomplishment.
yeah, no, 18 years of considering everyone being let go and that, you're still there. That's awesome.
And his bank
Not,
account is feeling just good after 18 years of this. You know what I mean? So he's
no,
done.
for sure. For
Yeah.
sure. It doesn't make sense to me to put that title on him.
I was surprised to see that. I was surprised.
Yeah, it's almost like a step back. It's almost like a slap in the face of Triple H and those guys, like, what are you doing? Why would you put the belt on, you know, if you're gonna do it to someone who's only been in the company a couple of years, or someone, if you're gonna bring someone in from Raw, give it to Ricochet, give it to someone like that, in my opinion.
Do
You know
you
what I
think it's
mean?
their way of trying to get more eyeballs on NXT? Oh wow, Dolph has the belt. Check it out. Maybe that's their strategy. I don't know.
But that makes no sense considering what we said earlier about his
I know
status
that's
as
what I'm
it
saying.
is,
I don't know what
right?
they're doing with it.
Yeah. But this card doesn't end. You got Tommaso Ciampa against Tony D'Angelo, which is kind of interesting. NXT Tag Team Title match. You got Imperium against the Creed Brothers versus MSK. Um, all these matches look really, really good, man. I love Imperium. I love their style. I love their gimmick. The very stout and just
Mhm.
very rigid
Yeah, I like it.
European guys. Don't know much about the Creed brothers, but MSK was the former NXT champions before that. They were kind of, I guess they kind of remind me of the Hardys or something like that, kind of just that
Sort
young
of, yeah.
bucks kind of style, kind of young feel to them. You know what I mean? So let's see what the future holds for those guys. And then you got LA Knight against Gunther, formerly known as Walter, former NXT UK champion. This guy's a monster, man. This guy's
Oh yeah.
awesome. I really like him. He took a little bit of heat with the whole name change from Walter to Gunther due to the unfortunate history pieces that were involved with that name, going back to World War II and whatnot. But hey, man, he's a good worker. I really like him. I think he will be NXT champion very soon.
Yeah, I agree with you on that.
So that's basically what's going to start off the whole
Well,
WrestleMania weekend.
So you got about 8 hours of wrestling on Saturday. If you combine NXT with night one, it's a lot of wrestling. If you're a wrestling fan, it's Christmas for you.
Well, I mean, you think about it, you got the pre-show, then you probably got this show, which is about 2 hours long. So you got 3 hours there. Now, I don't know what time the show is running, to be honest. I was trying to look for it, but it's running before Mania starts. So Mania is probably going to start at 5.
But
With
don't they
the,
start at 4 because it's a 4 hour show?
I don't know. See, that's the thing with the 2 nights now. They don't need to do 2 hour. They can basically run 2, 3 hour shows here. So on the weekend, we're looking at an average. Mania itself will be 8 hours long over 2 nights.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Right? And the matches aren't they're not so many matches on each card either. So what I'm excited for is giving time to each of these matches,
Which they will. Yeah, I like
which
that.
will be great. You're not going to get some quick matches. Maybe the Miz and Ray might be the shortest match of that card. Maybe the Corbin and the Corbin and Drew McIntyre might be the shortest match of that night, in my opinion. Just to kind of see where they're going to go with it. But hey, man, let's get to night 2. Night 2 is pretty bit more stacked, in my opinion.
It is.
You got AJ against Edge. Let's talk about that one. Edge turns heel.
He's been doing a good job. I'm actually enjoying Edge as a heel right now.
And he went really dark. It's a very different kind of Edge, a very different kind of heel Edge.
It's working.
It's working really well, man. And, AJ, man, that's going to be a fun match.
That's going to be a great match.
Right? It's a bucket list match.
You going to open up night 2 at that one or what?
I would, I'm looking at the card here right now, and to be fair, I think that'd be the first one to kind of open it up with. Crowd would be fresh.
Right? Start off with a bang.
Yeah, you know what? And these two guys are going to give it all they have, and everything is going to be. I have nothing but great expectations for this match. I think the only way this match could fail is if these guys don't have the passion or the heart for it, which I, highly don't think that's the case.
No,
so
these guys are going all out, man. They're mid to late 40s now. They don't got many. Not a whole lot of these left at their peak. They got to go all out. They will.
No, it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. Pat McAfee against Austin Theory. I'm actually looking forward to this match, just based on the work that McAfee did with Adam Cole in NXT. Between him and Bad Bunny, those two guys really set the bar for anyone coming into the ring for the first time. It's going to be a really fun match. On a separate note, I was reading a funny little tidbit on this. Austin Theory was talking about working with Vince McMahon. And remember that one segment they had in the back where McMahon slapped him in the face? Did you see that?
Yep.
So Theory says, I didn't know he was going to slap me. He had no idea the slap was coming.
Nice. I like that.
Right? Yeah. So, just a little something for people to kind of.
That's Vinnie Mac for likes to keep you on your toes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, 100%. The Raw Tag Team title match is going to be on night 2. RK Bro, Randy Orton and Matt Riddle going up against the Alpha Academy, Gable and Otis against the Street Profits. Triple threat match here. What do you think? I almost have a feeling that they're going to put the straps on the Street Profits here.
I think so too. It's going to be a great match. 3 really good tag teams. I love all 3 of those teams. So I think Street Profits will take it, but you never know. But it's going to be a great match.
I think it'll be fun. Women's tag team match: Carmella versus Carmella and Queen Zelina, champions, going up against Liv Morgan, Rhea Ripley versus Naomi, Sasha Banks, Natalya, and Shayna Baszler. So from just a simple tag team match, you basically got a 4-way dance here, man. Wow.
I don't even know what to say about that. That's going to be an interesting match. What do you see happening here?
I'm just looking at this right now, and I probably think that Naomi and Sasha are going to be the ones walking away with the belts on this one. I just have a feeling that's just the way it's going to play out. Natalya and Shayna haven't been together that long, which is kind of weird considering both Tamina and Natalya are on the same brand. So I don't understand why they wouldn't still be together considering they just held the titles themselves. But hey, what do I know? Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan. I like the tag team, but I don't get what they're doing with Rhea. in the sense with that, because first she was with Nikki, now she's with Liv. Just kind of working this tag team scene. So I'm kind of hoping after Mania they bring her back into the title picture, because I think as a singles competitor, you know, she'd be amazing. I just think that she's kind of in purgatory right now, waiting for that next opportunity. Her and Bianca would be a great feud. I would love to see that. I'd like
Oh,
to
that'd
see
be great.
Bianca win the title and then kind of go into something with Rhea. They're both big girls. They're both strong women. They both work really well. So, it'd be a lot of fun matches there, I think.
You're onto something. We probably will see that in the near future. I wouldn't doubt it.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting to see where they kind of go with all this. I mean, you got Johnny Knoxville against Sami Zayn.
That's a fun match. I'm looking forward to that. Both guys
I,
are entertaining. It's going to be fun. It's going to be great.
yeah, no, I think that's going to be a fun match as well. I don't have high expectations for a great work rate, but I think there's going to be a lot of plunder and a lot of gimmicks being used here tonight for that
Yeah.
match.
Just a good old-fashioned entertainment match. So a quick laugh, 5 minutes. Knoxville does something silly. Zayn's entertaining as hell. It's going to be fun.
Yeah,
Little
no,
comic relief.
I think so. I think that that would be kind of your intermission match. I don't mean
Yeah.
that in any disrespect or anything, but that's kind of the match you can kind of miss or just have a good laugh with. Then we go into the main event of WrestleMania: Brock Lesnar,
Hell yeah.
Cowboy Brock Lesnar,
Love it.
against the tribal chief himself, Roman Reigns.
Dude. What else can you ask for? That's going to close the show. I'm loving Brock Lesnar. I've been saying this for a while. I'm glad Brock's not with Paul. I'm not putting Paul down. They were great, but now you're seeing more of a real life Brock Lesnar to a point, and I think it's great what he's doing. Some of his best work as far as character goes that I've ever seen him do, and it's fun, and it's going to be an awesome match. I like Reigns as the heel. Brock's the face. I mean, they're going to tear the house down on this one.
Yeah, it's going to be a really fun match. I know these guys have gone, many times before, but it's always been the other way around. Roman's always been chasing Brock. Roman was always trying to be the face, but Brock is still Brock, but he's fun.
Yeah, I like it.
And what's really fun about him is that he's legitimately having fun.
You could see it in his face.
And that's the beauty of it. Like even on Friday with that whole forklift, that was wow.
That was great, by the way. That was fun.
That was really fun,
dude.
So
I mean, anytime you get a chance to watch Brock Lesnar wrestle, you got to do it. He's a once in a lifetime athlete. He's 44 now, so enjoy him while you can, because one of these days he won't be coming out, and you're going to be like, "Damn, I missed that guy." So watch it now.
Have you ever seen him?
Yeah, it's WrestleMania 19.
Yeah, okay, yeah, I got to see him there, and then I also saw him just recently at Royal Rumble 19. And then I got to see him the night after at Raw as well. So, most recently I got to see him in the last couple of years. Guy's a monster in person.
Oh, dude, man. He's huge. The size of the guy's back. You don't realize how big these guys are till you actually see them in person.
Oh, wow. This guy's
even Roman's a big dude, man.
Well, they're all big dudes, but Brock is just huge.
His hands, everything.
Massive. Like just in person, I don't think TV justice gives him the justice, man, to this pure size, enormity of him.
He's a scary athlete and one of the best athletes to ever get in the squared circle, if not the best athlete.
Agile, flexible, endurance, strong. I mean, he's got it all, man. It's going to be a fun match.
Who wins?
I think you give it to Brock. I mean, the only time that I think Roman can lose would be at Mania. If he doesn't lose now, he's not going to lose till next year.
So if Brock wins, let's just say he wins, who's his next feud going to be with? It's because they got to end the Reigns and Lesnar thing now, right?
Well, I think that will bring us to where Mania is going. There's 2 more matches, people. We don't know where they're fitting in yet, but there are 2 more matches. I'll get to the lesser of the 2, with all due respect to the guys competing in those matches. Omos is going to probably have a match against Bobby Lashley, a returning Bobby Lashley. So that's going to be kind of an interesting one to see. I think that's just going to be a quick. You know what? I retract that. I don't know what to expect from that match.
I don't know how that could go either way. That could be Bob. You think Omos? I think you're not going to let Omos crush him because Bobby's too strong.
here's the deal on this, man. Here's how I look at it. To answer your first question, the reasonable thing would have him go with Lashley.
Brock and Bob again, yeah.
Yeah, that's some unfinished business. It has a bit of time now to have marinated and to kind of grow. And I think they can have a more natural storyline as opposed to kind of having that rush one going into the Rumble. Um, you know, so I don't know where this match is going to go because they've spent a lot of time building up Omos. Only to have him get destroyed by Bobby doesn't make sense in
You
order
can't
to.
destroy Omos. He's too big. He's a monster. You can't have him go down like that. It'll
But
make
well,
him look
that's it. Well, that's it. But so, how do you keep Bobby and him strong so you can have a feud? I don't know. Maybe that's the next feud for him.
interference. Somebody run in and do something.
Something has to happen, right? I don't know, but who's going to
You can't
interfere?
make either one of these guys look weak because they're freaks of nature, right? They're so strong, they're so big. You can't have them tear them down. So I don't know what's going to happen. Maybe it's some outside interference. Maybe Aziz comes down, Commander there.
Well, I mean, he's been rolling with those guys too, so it's kind of interesting. It's weird too. I don't know if Omos is a face now, if he's still a heel, or
I'm not
kind
sure
of
what
weird.
he is. Just a monster, dude. He's huge. Was he
Yeah,
in real life like 7'2", 7'3"? He's
it's
huge.
something like that. 7'2", 7'3". Yeah, he's a big
Monster.
boy. He's a big boy. Which leads us to the other match that hasn't officially been announced, but is already being announced everywhere. So about 2.5, almost 3 weeks ago, Cody Rhodes, the American Nightmare, former AEW executive, in-ring talent, founder of that company, signed with the WWE for his return.
And if any people were listening to our podcast about a month ago, I said, I'm thinking Cody Rhodes and Seth, and here we are.
Here we are. We're here. That being said, we won't know until that music
Might
hits.
not be. It
And
could be
it might
wrong.
not be happening. We could be wrong, but it all everything's pointing to Cody versus Seth. I love what Seth has been doing recently. I love the way they built this up, that slow build up to this match.
Mm-hmm.
Him becoming desperate, finding a way in, first going up against Owens last week, trying to get that spot. He lost. Went up against AJ to get that spot against Edge. He lost. So
Yeah.
the man is beside himself. We're going into the go home show of Raw, which will be a lot of fun, I'm hoping. And let's see where they play this out.
So how are
Now,
they going to do this? Is Cody just going to show up in the building and challenge somebody? How are they going to roll this out?
I think it's basically going to happen the way I was kind of hoping the Owens segment would happen. And I think this is going to happen on night two. I don't know why, but I just feel it's a night two kind of thing. Um, you're basically Seth will come out. He's going to try to interrupt the show. Where's my match? I'm supposed to be on Mania. I'm the top dog. Blah 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 blah. He's going to go on, and then Cody's music will hit. He's going to come out, and that will be your match. He
He's
should
not coming
not.
out as he's not coming
No.
out as Stardust.
I think he's going to come out as Cody Rhodes,
Yeah.
right? With his wonderful neck tattoo. What do
No.
you think of that thing? You like
It
it?
looks terrible. Doesn't suit
So
him.
no, it doesn't suit him. But yeah, I think he should not be on the go home show. You don't bring him up for that. You bring him out for night two. If anything, I think he might even open the show with that.
He could. That'd be a huge opener. Go start the show with a bang, right?
I think that'd be a good opener. That would, if it's not Edge and AJ, I think that should be the opener. Night two starts, he comes out. No, you know what? I already missed night one. This is my night. I'm not leaving this ring until someone comes out here and we get it on or whatever he says or whatever. This is silly little laugh.
And
And
everybody's
then
saying he's going to be on the Raw brand, right? That's what
I
that's the.
believe that's what the consensus is, that he's going to end up on Raw, so they can continue the story and kind of go from there. But
I'm glad he came home. I'm glad he came back to the big dance. So, welcome back, man.
yeah, let's see what he got here, man. Let's see what they pull off. It's going to be a fun night.
Oh, it's going to be great.
It's going
You
to be
get two. You get Cody. You get Stone Cold. So you got some surprises. You don't know what's going to happen. Great matches. So it's a fun card.
yeah, the next two shows here, Monday and Friday will kind of determine everything. And the Hall of Fame is on Friday night after SmackDown or before SmackDown. I'm not sure, but it's on
Okay.
the same night, so it's going to be happening. You got the Taker going in. You
With
got
Vince McMahon introducing his first and supposedly only superstar, which is cool.
that's fun. That's going to be fun. Vince is really well spoken, and
Oh, yeah.
it's going to be a really cool to see the Taker go in there. Uh, Vader is going to be going into the Hall of Fame that night as well.
Love it.
Yeah,
There's
and then you also have Queen Charmel, Booker T's wife.
you know what they say, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say it. I ain't gonna say anything, but she was a good character, but she doesn't deserve to be in the Hall of Fame.
Well, I mean,
I don't get it.
I,
What did she do?
well, she was a Nitro girl.
Okay.
Out of all the Nitro girls, her and Stacy Keibler are probably the most successful.
Okay.
Um, she did her whole thing as Queen Charmel. I get
How
that.
long did that last?
A couple years, maybe a couple year run.
Here's the
But
thing. Go ahead.
but that being said, she's also done a lot of work with the promotion that she and Booker run out of Houston there. So, I mean,
Yeah, but that shouldn't qualify for a WWE Hall of Fame, right?
that it can be said for probably about a handful of other guys and
So
girls that
that
are in
leads me
there.
to my point. What I'm going to say here: the WWE Hall of Fame. I mean, I get it; it's a work. Don't get me wrong; it's hard to compare it to baseball, basketball, and hockey. They got the lowest standards. They're putting in anybody and everybody now. They need to tighten it up a little bit. Hall
Well,
of Fame means elite. Charmel is not an elite. Um, it kind of cheapens it out a bit. To me,
no,
you're in Taker's hometown here, and you got Vince McMahon, the greatest mind in wrestling ever, inducting you. Sorry, that should be the only guy going in here. Make it that special. Oh my God, Vince is inducting Taker in Texas, where he's from. Just let one guy Taker only. He's that special. That's how I would.
if you think about the rest of the people going in, with all due respect to all of them, it's very lean. It's all leading up just to Taker. You know what I mean?
That's my point. Maybe save Vader and Queen for the next year.
Yeah.
Vader
Yeah.
deserves it. Don't get me wrong.
Possibly.
I love it.
But here's what I was also thinking though, Chance. I was thinking if everyone's adamant of not having Charmel in there, that's fine. Fair enough. You know what I mean? There are a lot of arguments to have her in. There's a lot of arguments to have her out. I think you and I are both leaning towards out, obviously. Nothing against the individual. I'm just looking
No,
at
she's
like
good at
you.
what she does, but
I'm
it's just
looking at the accomplishments and what they actually brought to the industry and what they did for their time in the industry.
here's a question for you. If I said to you before they announced Queen Charmel in the Hall of Fame, if I said to you, name 10 women that are in the Hall of Fame that should be in there, I doubt she'd come up on that list.
No, she didn't, because I already did it in my head as soon as I heard that.
I know
the first name that came to my mind, and it makes total sense with the Taker going in, is Michelle McCool.
Yeah.
She's not in.
No.
Right? And you could have the first husband and wife inducted on the same night.
That'd be cool.
Right? What was her? Layla was another person that I thought, should be in there as well. Her and Michelle McCool. You know what? Bring them in together. They cool.
That'd be cool.
Right? I mean, at one point they were the top of the division. They were running the show. They were basically the faces of the women's division combined. So, that run they had together, I think that warrants. I mean, if we're going to put people on the Hall of Fame, that would totally be them.
Speaking of the Hall of Fame, who's introducing Vader? Have you heard? I haven't heard.
I have not heard anything. Like I said, outside of the Taker and whatnot, I don't. They haven't really said much. Like it's a pretty small class.
Very small class.
Right? I mean, it's almost like they only want to have the Taker in there, but they got to put a couple more people in there
to make it a show.
Yeah. The only person who ever got inducted by himself was
I don't know.
Andre.
Oh, did he?
He was the first one to go in.
Okay.
Right. And I believe he was the only one that year that went in.
Okay.
Yeah. So, when they started it off, they started it with Andre, and then from there it kind of built up to where it is today.
Huge event.
Long gone are the days of it just being an event of its own.
Yeah.
So they've kind of, you know, I guess they're making more use of the arena that they're in at the time and whatnot, but doing it after SmackDown, that's kind of interesting too. So
That
maybe
is.
that's why they kept it kind of lean. Maybe I don't know. I mean, it's a huge
Maybe.
weekend, right? I mean, you got Friday night, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. It's a
That's
lot of
amazing.
stuff running, man. There's a lot of stuff going on,
Yep. No, that makes sense. That could be why they kept it thin, but
right? I mean, if you think of WrestleMania week, Monday 3 hours, 2 hours plus the Hall of Fame. Let's say that's another 3 hours. That's 6 hours right there.
yeah.
Then you got Takeover. That's another 3 hours, including the pre-show. Where are we now? We're at 9 hours,
Hmm.
right? Mania itself, I'm figuring they're going to keep it to about, you know, 3 hours, maybe a little later. I don't know. But let's say
Yeah.
3 hours there. We're 12 hours in now, plus a pre-show, 13 hours. Add another 4 hours to that. Bro, by the end of this whole time, throw in Raw and NXT afterward, we're looking at a close to 25 hours of wrestling starting Monday till the following Tuesday.
Yeah. If you watch all the product that WWE's putting out, yeah.
And then there's a UFC fight, and then there's boxing to be watched. I gotta love my life, man.
It's a great time right now for wrestling and boxing and MMA.
It's a great time for it all,
Like you
man.
said, April 7th, baseball's coming. I'm excited for that. So it's a great time of year.
No, it's fun. I mean, like I said, I was walking by the park and just listening to that sound of the ball hitting the mitt, it just makes me happy.
We got to hit up a few baseball games this year, that's for sure.
Definitely, man. We got to get down to Seattle, check out some of that. And you know what? The Canadians put on a great product too.
Yeah, I just want to say that Nat Bailey Stadium, man, it's a
It's
good bang for
fun.
your buck outdoor. If you guys
Fun.
haven't been to Nat Bailey Stadium, Vancouver Canadians, go down there because it's a beautiful ballpark.
And they
And
got great food too.
great food, great baseball,
Yeah,
beautiful
it's fun.
Vancouver.
No, you can't go wrong. The backdrop for that stadium is beautiful.
I love it in there.
So yeah, check it out, man. So yeah, that's basically what's going on right now. Some names that I have not mentioned. Alexa Bliss doesn't appear on this card, which is interesting. So I don't know what they're
Yeah.
doing with her. There are a lot of
Madcap,
guys. There's,
Madcap.
yeah, well, I guess you know what? I guess the Andre Memorial, which they haven't really announced, but I guess it's just
Put those guys in there.
that I'm sure everyone will get on the card here somehow. But there's a
Yeah.
lot of guys that aren't still on Mania, which is interesting. Considering it's 2 nights, I thought you'd have room for everyone.
Maybe like you said, the Battle Royal, put those leftover guys in there and let them go at it.
I think that's what's going to happen on both sides. You're going to have the women's battle royal, and you're going to have the men's battle royal. So that will kind of put in everyone.
Yeah.
Um, Gable Stevenson's coming.
Yeah, I seen that.
Yeah.
They
So
announced one yet?
well, I think he's basically done. He won his NCAA championship, his national
Yep.
championship. Took off his boots and left him in the middle of the ring there to signify that he is done his amateur wrestling career and he's ready to move on. Incidentally, his little brother, I believe, is also on NXT already.
Is he? I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
yeah. I'm not sure what he goes by or not. I apologize. I just kind of saw that before we started quickly.
Well,
But Gable Stevenson was on with Ariel Helwani. I think it was today or was it Monday? I'm not. I think it was Monday. He was on with him, and he was basically saying that sometime in April he's going to show up, and I don't think he's going to start at NXT. I think he's going to go straight on to Raw.
he's one of the guys that you can do that with.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I guess you can, right? I mean, he's going to be a little green, but you know what? If he's just stays himself and works that way, I think you got the next version of Kurt Angle in the WWE.
Absolutely.
And he's a big boy too, and he'd be someone fun to watch work with Rock.
That would be cool.
Both guys are from both guys come from the same school. They have a history. They know each other. Paul Heyman's huge on him. He loves him. Triple H loves him. So it's going to be kind of interesting to see what they do with him, how this kind of plays out. It's not often you got a guy coming in with that kind of fanfare. I guess social media and the way the world operates today makes it easier.
Yeah.
For
He's got all the
guys.
hype. He's got it. Now he's got to produce, which he will. But It's going to be fun.
Well, without seeing him work or anything like that, it's going to be kind of interesting to see what they do with him or what kind of character he's going to be. So let's see
Yeah,
where this goes, man. It's going to be a lot of fun. I mean, we're looking at the future here.
absolutely.
So that's basically all I got for right now, man. What do you got?
I'm going to do, before we shut this baby down, I'm going to give you a chance's top five. What is
Sure.
Bobby Samson's top five favorite WrestleMania matches of all time, in your opinion? Your favorites?
My top five WrestleMania matches of all time.
Mm-hmm.
I would have to say because I was at these events per se, um, Shawn Undertaker 2 at WrestleMania 26, just the quality of the match. I didn't know. I still say 25 was better,
Mm-hmm.
but as a follow-up match, they did an amazing job. It was a lot of fun. That's probably one. I would also have to say Rock Hogan, just because I was in the crowd for that one too.
You lucky bastard.
And just being in the crowd, I won't say the match was great. The match was nothing to write home about or anything, but what stands out was the electricity and that energy in the
And
crowd.
that stare down they had, dude. You could
Oh, that
feel it.
stare down, but that energy, it was thick. Like you could literally put your hand in it and you could feel it. I mean,
Owen and Rock, the two most famous wrestlers ever, bar none, right?
no, for sure. I mean, that was really, really fun as well. Um, Hogan Andre, obviously, just being a little kid and just seeing the magnitude of it all. I mean, 93,000 fans. It was just something. Again, the
Wasn't
match
it Gorilla
itself,
Mon? Wasn't it? What's that?
the match itself wasn't great, but it was that energy, that flow
Wasn't
of it
it
all.
Gorilla Monsoon? Didn't he say the irresistible force meets the immovable object between those two?
100% he did,
What a
man.
line.
Oh yeah, that was the tagline of that match.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Two more.
yeah, two more. You know what? I already know what my number one is. I'm just trying to think what number two could be for me. Brock versus Taker when the streak ended.
Yep.
The reason I say that is because it came out of nowhere. No one suspected it. No
No.
one anticipated it. But it shows what level the Undertaker is on to end the streak and to know who the person he wanted to have end the streak. You know what I mean? So just the way that all played out just shows that mad respect between the two of them, and that was something special. My favorite number one match from WrestleMania of all time is Undertaker again versus Triple H, Hell in the Cell with Shawn Michaels as guest referee. I can watch this match every day. Um, I was talking about this today with someone else earlier. That match stands out as probably the best Mania match in my opinion, just because between the three of those guys, the storytelling, the psychology that was shown in that match, you can watch that match without sound and get everything you need from it, in my opinion. It's just the facial expressions, the energy, just the way they sold everything, right to the minute they walked out and walked back into the curtain. It was just an amazing scene. It was just so fun to watch. So much fun.
And the end of an era too.
And that's the thing, you know what I mean? If you're gonna end the era, that's probably the best way to do it. And those guys did it the best. I mean, Sean crying in the corner, and the verbal exchanges back and forth between the three of them, the super kick, the pedigree to Sean, you know what I mean? It's just like all three
So
guys,
good.
man. It was so good. So good.
Well, Triple H is one of the best workers to ever step in that ring, man. He's an amazing character and worker.
Yeah, what about you, man? You always give me the top five, so I'm gonna Bobby Sampson's top five. What are Chance Michael's top five WrestleMania matches of all time?
I know it's cliche to say, but Steamboat and Macho,
For sure.
uh, and Hogan and Rock, because I'm a massive Hogan fan, especially Hollywood Hogan, my
Yeah.
favorite version of him.
Hmm.
It's so tough. I'm gonna have to say Rock and Austin WrestleMania 19, only because I was there to see Austin's last match.
Hmm. Hmm.
Um, I have to go with my boy HBK versus Razor ladder match,
Hmm.
just because of the significance of that. So many good matches. And then number five, I'm gonna have to say he's one of my favorites. Michaels Flair, when Flair got retired there. It was a great match, and the significance of it, the symbolism. Those are my 5 favorites. It's hard to name
I
somebody.
love you.
Right? Yeah.
Right. You know what?
Michael Old Yeller out back to the wood. It was just a great build-up.
Yeah, no, for sure. You know, that kind of takes me to a couple more matches here, if I may. I mean, we've already done it, but Brett and Owen to open up WrestleMania 10 was an amazing wrestling match. Bam Bam versus Lawrence Taylor.
Yes.
Was phenomenal.
Same with Michael's Hart's Iron Man match.
Yeah, man. I mean, shit. Brett and Stone Cold at 13. You know, like, I mean, where do we stop?
Yeah, exactly. But those are some of the ones that stand out to me, right? And I love Ricky Steamboat and Macho Man too. So
no, for sure, they were all great matches. But I think a lot of my memories were based on just the energies and stuff. You know, like I don't think any of the matches. I mean, well, I guess the Hell in a Cell match itself was really good, but you know, the rest of them were all energy based.
Yeah.
You know, the work rate wasn't great into them, but
the electricity, right?
Phenomenal. You know, just thinking about it now, I've watched Stone Cold's last match live, and I saw Shawn Michaels' last match live.
Oh, you're lucky. I seen Stone Cold's last match. I didn't get to see Michaels. Wish I did.
Man. No, definitely. Next time they come out this way, we got to definitely, you know, go check it out.
Absolutely.
You're going to be seeing them up in September in Edmonton, eh?
Yeah, I'm going to Monday Night Raw, flying rain, so it should be fun.
Very cool, man. Very cool.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, listen, we want to say thank you to everyone for taking the time and energy for allowing us in your ears. I know you guys have a lot of choices out there, and it means a lot. All your support means a lot. Everything you guys do by liking and listening, you know, gives us the energy and the will to carry on and do great things. I can't say it right now, but I can tell you we have some amazing stuff coming up in the next month or so here. So stand by for some of the things that we're gonna have for you here. So when we have more confirmation on these details, we will share them with you, and you know, look forward to it because we're looking forward to some of the stuff that we're working on behind the scenes here at Samp&Chance. We will be back at you guys later this week with a boxing edition of Samp&Chance, just to kind of touch base on what's going on. Just to give you a little preview, word has it that Usyk is going to be leaving Ukraine to go train in Poland to have that AJ fight that everyone has been waiting for. Unfortunately, Lomachenko is not going to be leaving Ukraine. He's going to stay behind, which basically puts that June 5th match on the back burner for him now. They've moved on from George Camboso and his team have moved on, and now they're looking to get something done with David Haney. So, you know what? We'll talk about all that, but I just want to give you a little taste of what we are seeing and what's coming up. So, with all that being said, thank you so much for all that you guys do, and thank you so much for listening to us. On behalf of myself, Bobby Samson.
In the words of the great AC/DC, for those who download the podcast, we salute you.
Thank you. Have a great night. Be safe. And in the words of my buddy, Mr. Iron Sheik, be humble. Good night, everybody.